bring you back to one of our top stories that we're following this morning, the coronavirus outbreak. Officials say another American evacuee from the epicenter city of Wuhan has tested positive for the coronavirus. That brings the number of confirmed cases here in the U.S. to 14. Meanwhile, another 44 people aboard a cruise ship docked just south of Tokyo tested positive for the illness. CBS News foreign correspondent Debora Patta is joining me now from Hong Kong. Deborah, what do we know about the latest cases on the cruise ship?
Well, they are. More than 200 people on board that cruise ship are now infected. We're also learning that elderly passengers with medical conditions will be allowed to disembark tomorrow, provided they pass final health checks. But they will still be placed into a government quarantine facility before being released next week. Some passengers, however, on board are battling with isolation.
We're now into the second week. It seems an eternity.
Cabin fever has set in on the Diamond Princess. The ship has been on lockdown in Yokohama for more than a week, becoming a virtual incubator for the disease.
It's starting to get to a point where you can definitely feel things getting tougher.
Fear is also proving to be as contagious as the virus.
We have 2 cruise ships that have experienced delayed port clearance.
The MS Westerdam was barred from 4 ports across Asia over concerns about the virus, despite the fact that no cases have been confirmed on board. Today, it found a home.
Cambodia agreed to accept the Westerdam cruise ship, which has been stranded at sea for several days.
Adding to those fears, China reported a record number of single-day deaths and new cases on Wednesday. Pathologist Professor John Nichols was a prominent researcher during the 2003 SARS outbreak.
Does that mean this outbreak is worse than we think, or we're just not understanding it properly?
I think the second scenario is more likely, is that we're actually now getting a better indication of what's really happening in the community.
Authorities in China are now confirming infections based on CT scans of patients' lungs. Health officials previously depended on lab tests, which can take days to process, creating a backlog of untested cases.
There's just so much we still don't know.
Right now you have so much pressure from everybody saying, you know, we want instant results, we want something right now. Everybody's just trying to keep one step ahead of this fast evolving situation.
So, Deborah, we've heard that health officials in China adopted a new method of testing for the coronavirus. How is this method proving to be more effective in diagnosing cases?
Well, the main thing about it, Anne-Marie, is that it's a lot quicker. Previously, they were relying on lab tests. Those could take days before they got results. Now they're using CT scans, and they're able to give some kind of diagnosis a lot quicker. So this is really speeding it up, and that's why we've seen such a surge in the number of infections. The concern, of course, all along has been that China is underreporting, not necessarily deliberately, but because they're simply unable to test people. They don't always have enough test kits. Not every village, every province, every town has a test kit, and so they really are reliant on how many test kits they have and what they can do in a single day. So we might see these blips from every now and again. So it's really difficult to get a grip on whether the disease is actually peaking or whether it's still going to continue and get worse.
Okay, so now we know with this new testing there are more people that have been exposed to this virus than we thought before. So then what is China doing in terms of taking precautions to limit the spread of this virus?
Well, as we know, there's over 50 million people in lockdown, and as one commentator said to me, you know, it's only an autocratic state in a way that can lock down an entire region and people obey it and actually stay in that area. So that's the main thing. They're being very vigilant. Schools have been shut. There is not a lot of public activity, and the lunar holidays were extended for a lot longer so that people wouldn't actually go back to work. People are required to wear masks. So there is a huge effort. And then here in neighboring Hong Kong, the borders have all but been closed. Anyone coming from the mainland is automatically put into a mandatory 14-day quarantine. So a lot of strict measures are being taken. In Hong Kong, for example, they're also taking no chances. The Catholic Church has even taken the unprecedented and unusual step of suspending public mass for at least 2 weeks.
Wow. And I understand the world's biggest phone show, it's called the Mobile World Congress, That's no longer going to be taking place this year because of the coronavirus concerns. Is this setting a precedent for other major events, the possibility of other major events being canceled? I know there's a technology show as well that's going to be canceled.
Well, I think fear is at the moment just as contagious as the virus is, and people just don't want to take a chance, even if there's no, high incidences of coronavirus in a particular country. You mentioned those two, the Rugby Sevens, Hong Kong, Singapore leg to take place in July, August. That's also been postponed. That's a major sporting event in this region. So I think it is setting that kind of stage, and people just don't want to take a chance. And I guess the reason partly for that is the fear, but also that there is still so much that is unknown. Just how long it takes, what the incubation period is, how you get this virus there's a lot that's unknown, and a lot that hopefully will be explained more and more as scientists battle against time and race to uncover all the details about this new virus.
Yeah, Deborah, I think that's a great point, because people will point out that many, many more people die of the flu every year. But the problem with the coronavirus is sort of the very long list of unknowns, and we don't know how exactly it spread. Talked about people on a ship that are supposed to be quarantined, but still new instances of the virus continue to pop up. So that's the problem. Too many unanswered questions. Debora Patta, thank you.